All right, hello everyone. This is a video about how to make sure you're writing amazing body paragraphs in your essays this year. I just wanted to highlight that a great essay paragraph doesn't need to follow one of the acronyms you've learned about, but it needs to have personal opinion, evidence, and starting to think about how the reader responds to the text. In a nutshell, you can get an achieved at year 11 by just giving your opinion about the evidence, but to really hit excellence at year 11 and going on in NCEA, we need to be thinking about how the text appeals to the readers, how it makes them respond, what it reminds them of. So these acronyms are just a way of covering that and making sure you're including those three elements. Some of you may be quite down about essay writing or nervous, and I just want to make sure that you are confident and feel comfortable. So this is how I read an example of a petal paragraph, which is really similar to what you've been doing in previous years. These are some sentence starters that you can also use, but I just wanted to highlight how I would read this paragraph. Bear with me while I put my highlighter pen on. So this paragraph is analyzing Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is demonstrating the dangers and risks of scientific progress. This is an example of an idea sentence. It's showing a message for society or a message for the wider reader. An example of this is when the author uses negative connotations and writes that Frankenstein dabbled among the unholy damps of the grave. We see this when Frankenstein is preparing to create his monster, a scientific progress that is dark and scary. This is an example of the example or the evidence from the text. We've got a quotation, we've got a technique of these negative connotations. But also, we are decoding it by telling the story of the text. Finally, and by the way, that essay paragraph would count as an achieved level band at NCEA level 1 already. But the real difference between pushing on to your merit and excellence band is where we talk about the reader's response. This is where we start to talk about how the reader feels and thinks after seeing that quotation, dabbled among the unholy damps of the grave. This makes the reader imagine that Dr. Frankenstein is unholy, involved in scientific pursuits that should be forbidden for good reason, and becoming something evil or sinful. These words here makes the reader imagine, or where we get into that deeper understanding of how the reader is feeling and thinking about how they're evil or sinful or forbidden. Finally, we need to link back to the importance to the question and to the bigger ideas. And this is what happens at the end. This is important because Mary Shelley wanted to warn her audience of the dangers of scientific progress and the fear that should be associated with advancement in the real world, which we've seen today from the rise of cloning and genetic modification. These ones also are talking about the reader's response to things in the real world. And if you're able to implement the yellow of the ideas, the blue of the evidence, and the green of the reader's response, you're well on your way to writing essays that aren't just good, but that are starting to move on to be great. Thank you for watching.